Hey everyone, just getting my Windows set up here. There we go. Hopefully the audio is fine. I think it is. I hope it is. You guys will have to let me know how the chat is. Are we on now? Are we on now? So how's everyone doing tonight? I'm doing pretty well. I was just notified about this contest and pretty excited about it. Hello everyone in the chat. Audio sounds great. Good. I'm glad we're starting it off good this time. So first thing, as far as, for the people that watch my Saturday live stream, you know that I was looking for people to submit their videos for my backdrop here. And I got a lot of good videos, but not the right videos. So as you can see from this video is from Aquarium Co-op. It needs to be still. So I got a lot of videos of people showing me their setups, their filters, and moving around. And while I enjoy that, there's a lot of people in chat that don't like the moving around. A lot of people that watch don't want it moving around. So we just got to keep it still at one spot, and it should work out great. So if anyone wants to send me videos of their tanks, remember at least 720p, preferably 1080, and also you're going to want to send it to Steenfott Aquatics at gmail.com. And I prefer about a 5-minute video, but if you could only do like a 2-minute, that's fine. Shorter than 2 minutes doesn't work very well. Looks like everyone's still getting settled in. Well, time to finally buy that tripod. Yep. And again, if you have a YouTube channel and you send me a video, you can put a watermark in it for your YouTube channel, or I can, however you want to do it. So that way we can, just a way to help promote other channels. I think it's a pretty good idea. Fish Tropic gave me that idea about a week and a half ago or so. And yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Oh, the sound on the background video is playing. I did forget to turn that off. Whoops. Thank you for that message. Charles says, I'll see if I can get my sister to record a video for me. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, people are talking in the video and explaining their setups, that sort of thing, but I can't have sound. As you just noticed, as you heard the sound in this background video, there can't be any sound. So if you want to talk and tell me about your setup, as long as it's, not moving, then I'll enjoy that and I'll get to learn about your setup. But as far as the video, maybe I could play the sound like the first run through so everyone can get an idea of your setup, but then I'll have to mute it. My tank isn't Steenfott worthy. I think all tanks are worthy. I wouldn't worry about that. It's just got to be 720p or better. Otherwise, it'll just be a big blurry mess. Grumble says, this is a great idea. Need to get a better camera. You're free to borrow mine if you want. She is local to me, so I can loan her my camera. I might be able to get you a good video of my tank. Yeah, so I don't know. I just think it's is this a call out for viewer home shows? Kind of. Are you asking if I'm calling people out? Not necessarily, but if people want to send me their videos and promote their YouTube channel, I will gladly play it in the background and promote their YouTube channel. As long as it's a good channel. I mean, I'm not gonna promote a crappy channel. You know what I mean? Like, don't send me a fish video and then have your channel be about car racing or something like that. While that's awesome and everybody likes car races, I don't want to send a bunch of fish people to like a car racing channel, that kind of thing. Charles wants to know, what's this contest giveaway you're talking about? Sashimi wants to know, one tank or multiple tank? Just one tank, just like this. If you have multiple tanks and you want to stream it together, that's fine too, as long as you're not like physically moving. So shoot your tank for a couple minutes, stop, move to the new tank, record it. Because again, people really don't like the movement. I've learned that the hard way. Crazy Animal Lover says, I have a small fish and animal channel. Yeah, great. Just shoot your fish tank and I'll put it up here. Flynn wants to know if I can repeat all of this. Nope, but you can re-watch it. How can you send me a video? Again, it's Steenfott Aquatics at Gmail. At the end of this video, once it uploads, I'll leave the email there as well. So yeah, so the other big news of the night is a contest that I was just made aware of that is actually going on over at Aquarium Co-op. So let's get this up and take a look. Here we go. We'll get it out of the chat here. So the website, aquariumcoop.com /pages/contest. So this is basically just like his last contest, where you can do all this stuff to earn points. It looks like it's going to be running for 15 days. So show us a picture. You know, a lot of you have already done this, so you should already have this. Enter using Facebook. Show us wearing an Aquarium Co-op. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. So what is this icon? Is that is this one Instagram? So show you wearing a picture on Instagram. Show you wearing a Co-op shirt on Facebook. Twitter. So follow him on Twitter. Show us a photo of your. So you have 3 shirt photos you got to do. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Tweet on Twitter for 10 points. And then he put in some bonus points for me, it looks like, and this is what I was excited about. Not that I'm excited about the contest, but again, if I won, I wouldn't take it, so not really a contest for me. But if you watch... Oh, well, first, if you subscribe to my channel, that's 10 points. I'm assuming all of you guys are, I hope. And if you watch my entire fish room tour, that's 39 points. You watched an old school Aquarium Co-op video. This is a really cool video. I don't know if it changes, but when I did it, it was a video on him setting up his store. And then you can do this daily, 3 points every single day. Well, I guess we should talk about prizes, but I'm sure you guys already saw it. So the winner, the grand prize winner, will get a $100 gift card to Aquarium Co-op. And then 2 winners will receive a $50 gift card to Aquarium Co-op. So that's pretty cool. You can get a lot of cool stuff there with $100. Even for $50, I could have a good time there. I don't know that I've ever made it out of there with spending under $50, so every bit helps, right? So yeah, that's the other exciting news. And we'll get this down off this screen now. But I will keep the website up and going, kind of scrolling across the top there, all fancy dancy like. For people that join late, they can have the website. See, Jason asked, what's the site? It's now scrolling up there. The only thing that would make it better is if you could actually like copy paste that. But maybe someone will link it in chat and then you can copy paste out of that. Let's see. Questions? Oh, it looks like Corey's here. Going to answer some questions about his contest, I'm sure. Sergeant Tank says, just to clarify, do you want editing to take place prior to sending your video? That's up to you. The only thing I really care about is that it's 720 and you're not moving around. That's it. If you want to edit it, put in effects, I wouldn't go crazy with like fireballs, and I wouldn't Michael Bay it out, but you know, that's really all I care about. No moving and at least 720. Is that pearlweed in the tank behind you? I believe so. Question about the co-op contest. Do you have to do all of the point stuff in order to qualify? Nope. That's just ways to get extra points. So the more you do, the more points you get. Crazy Animal Lover says, I watched it about a week ago. Cool. And here, all you have to do is put it on. You don't even have to watch it. Just put it on. Let it run the 39 minutes while you're doing water changes, or put it on before you go to work. You know, they don't know that you're actually there watching it or not. So, there you go. What? I missed the details. Go to this website right here, Brandon. All the details are going to be on that website on top. Or I think I enabled it so you can rewind this stream. Or you can rewatch it after I upload. Charles says, you could buy a lot of fish and plants with $100 or $50. Yeah. I would buy all Anubias. That's all I would buy. Burning Fire says, Aquarium Co-op, can I enter globally, not use the gift card to cover shipping? And use the gift... I don't think he'll ship to Australia no matter what. Sorry. Maybe, but I'd be surprised. Okay. Oh no, Canadians can't participate. I mean, you could still win the gift card and then give it to someone you like. I mean, that's what I would do. Brandon says, wait, Bob is making his own home show videos. Not necessarily. All I'm doing is looking for people that want to send me videos of their tanks, and I'll put them in the backdrop here, and we can plug their YouTube channel, things like that. Can I film it on my iPhone? Fish Aquaria wants to know. As long as it's 720p or better. I don't know much about the iPhone. Crazy Animal Life says 720, like 7 minutes and 20 seconds. No, the resolution, 720 progressive or 1080p progressive. So it's the resolution. Short and Anxious says, okay, I'm officially here again. Good. Battery must have died already. If Corey is online, maybe he can answer. How do you import plants? One, you can either get an import license that I think is like $5,000. Might be different for plants, but I know for fish it's like $5,000. Or you can go through a trans shipper. So like if I went through a trans shipper, they would get shipped somewhere down in California, and then I'd have to pay a trans shipper to ship them up. That sort of thing. Finn's Flish Forum says, cough cough, everyone likes me and I'm Canadian, cough cough. That's my plan, win and give it to Flynn. Win Flynn. Throwing that out in the universe. Flynn's gonna win. Flynn can drive down to the co-op though, so he's good to go. Kayla C says, Charles is in the house. Yep. Charles is in charge. Have you tried a Monte Carlo plan? Thinking of trying it with LED floodlights. Thoughts? I do have Monte Carlo in one of my tanks right now, but it's not very happy with me. But it's not dying, but it's not spreading either. It's just there. But I don't really care that much. It's too high tech for me. So if it grows, it grows. If it doesn't, it won't. But it's been in there probably like 6 months now, and it's not dying. So pound win for Flynn. I haven't heard Charles in charge in a while. Oh yeah, I'm sure you've heard that a ton. That's like Bob the Builder. Oh man. Or what about Bob? Oh man. All of it thousands of times during school. Crazy Animal Lover says, would Corey ship across the other side of the U.S.? Anywhere in the U.S., Hawaii, Alaska, Puerto Rico. Yeah, anywhere in the U.S. You all have some nice nicknames. Kinkaju says, I was just watching some videos on Monte Carlo plants. I'm curious as well. Some people say it's not a high-tech plant, but the only time I get it to grow is in a high-tech setup. But, you know, I could just be really bad. Bob says, I love Bob the Builders. Charles says, if he wins, I definitely order a ton of plants. I'm going to try to get Charles on the show on Saturday, throwing him under the bus there. I don't know if he's available this Saturday, but I think he's going to be my first guest on the show. So that should be pretty cool. Oh, never mind. He just responded. Yeah, sure, that works. Yeah, we can test it out before the stream starts. So, there you go. It's official. Charles Fish Tanks will be the first guest on my show. And if you haven't checked out his channel, be sure to go over to his channel. He's got a lot of cool stuff on there. I don't know if we're going to have a topic or anything. I've never had a topic on my live streams. I just talk about whatever. Generally try to keep it fish related though. Usually like the last 45 minutes or a half hour, it can get pretty wild around here. Caleb says, Bob, if I send you a video, don't promote my channel because it's not about the aquarium hobby. No, if I like it, I'll still promote it though. If it's about RC crawlers. Who's Bob the Builder? I think there's a couple Bobs in here now. Ron says, did you see PecTech's video about the C-Cam title hang on the back? Oops. Gotta scroll up. Title hang on the back filter. Looks impressive. I thought it was just a rebrand of the Sichi. I think that's how you say it. Hang on the back filter. I didn't. Maybe there's a couple of things that are different, but I don't know. I'm trying to get away from hang on the back filters. I actually hooked up I finally hooked up my Fluval FX6 last night that I've had since Black Friday. And that thing is a beast. I'm in love. It's love at first sight. Yes, the first live stream that I get to watch live. Good to see everyone. Nice. So yeah, on Wednesday's video, you're going to see I completely destroyed my fish room. You know, it's my last video on Sunday. It was supposed to be me cleaning up the fish room, and I got about halfway done, and then I started making the second half to that video, and I had water overflowing out of one of my tanks. I lost like 6 gallons of water just everywhere from a hang on the back filter, as a matter of fact. And that was on my little workbench with the 20-gallon snail tank. Not almost all, but like I said, about 5-6 gallons of water just all over the workbench. So I threw everything off the workbench. It's now scattered all over the floor just to dry it out. And then instead of finishing that, I was out in the garage and I was just staring at the FX6, and I got a wild hair, and I was like, you know what, I want to install this. So now half of my fish room has wet crap all over the floor. Well, it's not wet anymore, but and then the other half of my fish room has FX6 boxes and bags and parts all over the floor. So cleaning did not go very well. Anyways, Charles Fish Tank says, those late night streams make me loopy. We had a lot of late night streams. We had a lot of live streams on Saturday, I feel. Even Lucas did one at like 3 in the morning. I was long asleep by then, but... Does the tank in the background have CO2? That's a good question. It sure looks like it does, with how much purling is going on. But, yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Oh, Jordan, I've seen you've asked this a couple times. Sorry about that. I was kind of in announcement mode, but Jordan says, hey, I have a 65-gallon tall. I have 1 ghost knifed, 1 elephant nose, 1 kissing gourami, 2 dwarf gourami, and 2 angelfish. Is this overstocked? It is ran by a canister filter. Based on the size that all those fish are going to get, I mean, if they're still small now, maybe not, but they're going to get pretty big. So eventually it definitely will be. In my opinion. especially because it's tall and not long, I think you might run into some problems. Flynn's Fish Forum. Do you use glue or string to attach Anubias to wood? I use super glue gel. Doesn't matter how good it doesn't matter how good the hang on back filter is. I hate it. Yep, I hate them all. Space is dead. Hey Bob, I went out of town and the person feeding my tanks overfed. Now my tank smells horrible. I have done 3 50% water changes now in about 2 days and it's still bad. Any ideas? Are all your fish accounted for? You might have a dead fish hiding in there somewhere. I've had that happen. Like in a tank like this in the background, if there was a dead fish somewhere inside this pearlweed, you're not going to find it. But otherwise, you're just going to have to keep doing water changes, unfortunately. I would be doing 50% every day until it was gone. Gosh, you told me how to pronounce your name and I forgot. I'm sorry. I think it's Nisi, I hope. Says FX6 for the win. Yeah, I'm a believer now. I put it on my 125 gallon really overstocked rainbow tank and the water is just crystal clear like overnight. Rudu, how many gallon tank do you put the FX6? There you go, 125. Crazy Animal Lover says, my videos aren't great. I'm newer at the hobby, but I am going in head first. That's a good attitude, but just remember to be patient. That was my problem when I first got into the hobbies. I was not patient at all. And unfortunately, a lot of fish paid for that. Juan says, hey Bob, I bought a 13-gallon tank that comes in a kit. It came with a plastic top with 9 separate LEDs. Will this be enough for low light plants? The tank looks pretty bright. I think that's like the 13-gallon. I think I know what kit you're talking about. It should be good for low light, like Java Fern, Anubias, things like that. It should be okay. Yao Ming says, where do you get your driftwood from? I get it when I go hiking out of rivers, lakes, laying on the ground. What are you running the FX6 on? 125-gallon rainbow tank. Short Anxus says, try using some carbon to combat the smell. That'll probably work, or Purigen, either or. Kinkaju, Bob, are there any low-tech carpeting plants you might recommend? I just scored a 40-gallon tank from a local sales page, and I would really like to make a planted tank with. So if it's a 40-gallon breeder, you're probably going to want 2 lights, even for low light. So if you did a low light, and if you only used 1 light, that's considered a low light, light fixture on a 40-gallon breeder because it's so wide. I don't think you're going to have much luck carping. If you use 2 lights, so you get the full spread of the tank, and then you could get away with like dwarf hairgrass probably, or micro chainsword. Just know that under like low tech conditions, it grows really slow. Charles says, your experiences with hang-on backs has officially scared me away from them. It's all about sponge and canister. Yep. I just don't think... So I don't think that hang-on backs are any better, really, than sponges. I don't think they're better at all. Obviously, I think they're worse, but... So I started with hang-on backs, and then I transitioned to sponge filters, and then I had a bunch of hang-on back filters just laying around. So I was like, well, I'll just throw it on the tank just to create water circulation. And even for just water circulation, they failed miserably. And I hate the ones that you have to prime, so you have to fill them up with water every time. Such a pain in the butt. Jordan... I just answered your question, but I might be behind in chat, so sorry about that. Kayla says, oh man, I had a 30-gallon tank explode before with a hang-on back and internal filter running. I tried to move it with water inside. I've moved my tanks with water inside, and I'm sure one day I'll learn my lesson. But so far, knock on wood, it's been okay. Is it necessary to cycle a tank to breed snails? I would still say yes, even though they can just hide up in their shell until they're comfortable. They can still have negative effects from ammonia and nitrates or nitrite. So yeah, I would still cycle. Oh, Brian's here. Good to see you, Brian. Hi, David. Who's David? Oh, David's here. Hello, David. Oops, went down a little too far. Flynn's Fish Forum says, I love hang on backs. You know, if I just had a couple tanks, that's probably fine. And maybe because I have so many tanks and I use so many of them, that's, you know, just out of sheer averages, because they're not made well at all. And I should pull up the email, because I was a huge supporter of Aquarium hang on the back filters. Like, I loved them. They were my favorite. And then after a year of having them all, they just all started breaking. Like, boom, right at that 12-month mark, they all just started breaking. And so I emailed Aquarium, and I was like, what's the deal? What's going on? And they're like, yeah, with the bigger model, the 75, and then the one below I think is the 50 or the 55. He was like, yeah, those will only last about 12 months, and then you got to replace like the bearing or the bushings or the bearings. And I was like, what? You guys are only making something that you know is going to break in 12 months? That's ridiculous. So that was their answer when I asked them. They're like, oh yeah, that's normal. So that was not unacceptable. And then they wouldn't even warranty them. They wanted to send me the parts to do all the work. So yet another reason why I hate hang on the back filters. President 89 says, anyone know why sellers on Aquabit and eBay only sell male guppies? I don't think I've seen that. I was just looking at guppies the other day, and they're pairs and 12 packs of fry. Anthony says, I hate Aquarium products. That's the only thing from Aquarium I hate besides their cheap heaters. I do like the Aquarium Pro, and I pretty much will only put an Aquarium tank in my house, because I think they definitely make the best tanks. Yao Ming says, what do you think of Cascade internal filters? I've never used them, so I don't know. Ron says, I have two Marineland 350s that have been running for 12 plus years. Yep, the old ones are awesome. I have a Marineland Magnum 300 or 350, whatever it is, like the canister filter, that's like 20 years old, and it still works amazing. It's all the new crap that been outsourced. John says, hi, do you sail and ship fish? I do not. Devin says, what do you recommend to raise TDS for Neocardinia? I think Lucas from LR Breads told me 350, like 400-ish. I could be wrong, but that's what I keep my tanks at, because I'm pretty sure that's what he told me to do. Are any of your tanks on Matten filters? Yes. I have 2 left that are on Matten filters. And I was huge on Matten filters until it comes time to clean them. Anytime I have to clean them, you have to take that whole thing out. It just creates a huge mess in the tank. And then also, like, all the substrate that's up against the Matten filter, once you lift it out, it goes to the back, and then you got to push it all forward. And it was just a pain to clean them. Granted, you only have to clean them like every 6 months, but I can take just a regular foam air filter and just pick the whole thing out, and it doesn't make a mess at all. Speaking of Lucas, look who I just summoned. He says correct. 300 to 400 is best, so I was right. 350. Grimy says, please answer my question. I have a really important question, but I don't see any question. Short and Anxious says, we have all been there and done that. Oh, what did I miss? Willie the King Colon. Today is the same thing happened at the last week open. Thankfully, first thing I see is Guppy Fry. Yeah. Oh, I don't know what I missed, but I missed something. Bob, what do you think of wet dry filters? I love sumps. I really love sumps. I love what you can do to them. I love how customizable they are. I've even put shrimp colonies in my sumps before with really great success. Yao Ming says, what are your thoughts on why aren't prawn and other large freshwater shrimp more popular? Probably just because they take a lot of space. They need bigger tanks. Brendan says, Bob, I hate having no questions to ask. Well, that's alright. It's not like you have to have one. LR Brett's Aquatics says, by the way, Bob, you usually can clean off your hang-on back propeller and it will start working again. Yep, tried it. I'm about to take a pressure washer to him. But I know you're ditching all yours too, though, so I'm not alone. He has a Fix It Friday that shows how to clean them. Yeah, they sent me all the parts, but I mean, Aquarium specifically told me that their hang on the backs are only designed to run for 12 months. And then you got to replace the bushings. They sent me a whole box of bushings to replace because I have like 10 of them. And I even emailed them all the receipts of all the Aquarium hang on the back filters. I mean, so those are only the 50 and the 75. If you count all the smaller ones, I probably have like 30 total. At least, and I sent them all the receipts, and still the best thing they could do was send me the parts to fix it. Stupid. Anthony says, I've been very tempted to try a freshwater sump. Yeah, I really like them. They take up a lot of space though. Like where that sump is, I could put a whole nother tank right there. That's the only thing I don't like about it. Ben Cheek says, Cyprichromis with multis. Yep, as long as your tank is tall enough, they'll do just fine. What do you have? Russell Beach says, what do you have to do with the vid? I tried Dropbox. It's unsafe, so looked on Google Drive. So the way that I've done it when I've tried to send a video through Gmail, if the file is too big, it automatically uploads it to Google Drive and then sends a link for whoever I'm sending it to download. So that's how I've done it. And I hope that it's just that easy for you guys. If you're not using Gmail, then I have no idea. I don't like Yahoo is terrible, so I don't know why anyone would use them anyways. But I don't know how to send a large file on Yahoo. That's my experience with Gmail. Charles Fish Tank says, I've seen a video from Australia or something where they were selling bright blue freshwater crayfish as pets. Absolutely beautiful creatures. Yeah, so they have like the Petco kind of gets some of those bright blue like lobsters, but there's definitely some really good ones. I like the orange crayfish, the Mexican dwarf orange crayfish. I used to have some of those. Eric says, I have 2 penguins on my 40 for 10 plus years. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, the old ones are really good. If I could just like go on Craigslist and buy hang on back filters that are like 10, 15 years old, I would do it in a heartbeat. A lot of pet stores here sell blue crayfish. Yeah, I don't know if they're technically crayfish. If they are, I don't know how they get away with it, but the Petcos in my state have like the blue lobster or whatever. Yeah, Sashimi says, yeah, so the Cherek's lobster and Petco named it Kelly Kapowski. That's funny. So yeah, that's what they're selling at Petco. I saw that on your channel. Kind of made me want to get one. Rogue says, Bob, I'm thinking about setting up a smaller tank for celebs rainbow fish. Any experience with them and a minimum tank size for them? I've never kept them myself, but if I was to keep them, I would probably put them in a 20-gallon long, well, depending on how many. But I would probably start with like a group of 6 in a 20-gallon long. And I would definitely keep it planted. Bob, best place to buy Cyprichromis and multis. You can get them from the Wet Spot Tropical Fish in Portland, Oregon. They do ship. Aquabid is a good place. Not really for Cyprichromis, but Cyprichromis are kind of rare to find anyways, I feel. Like, it usually, when I find a Cyprichromis I want to get, it usually takes me a few months to track it down. But yeah, I would try the wet spot tropical fish or aquabid. President 89 says, Lucas, I can't wait for my rainbow tiger endlers and velvet shrimp. Good, that's good. I know I have a few local people in my area on Lucas's waiting list for stuff, so he's a busy guy. Big J says, hi all. Hello, Big J. Any tips for introducing new angelfish into a tank with only one angelfish while avoiding aggression between them? I bet Charles can answer that if he's still on. He's going to be my new angelfish expert. Life of Hepting says, underwater gravel filters, do you think in a planted tank could the roots eventually restrict flow? I think it would. It would, maybe after a while, definitely. Well, I think between like the roots and all the sediment, it would probably restrict flow. But I think it depends on, there's a few different style of under gravel filters. And I know like the wedged ones are pretty good. But I don't think I've used an under gravel filter for at least 40 years, so yeah, I'm not too sure. And when I did use them, I was using fake plants, so like in my head though, it makes sense that eventually it would restrict flow, but I could be wrong. Sashimi says, Charles, hook it up with some red angelfish. Yep, he's got some nice red koi angelfish. President 89 says, are you going to do an update on your breeding for profit series? Yeah, I actually noticed that it's been like exactly a month since I've made an update, so that's probably going to be coming soon. I guess I'm always amazed that people want that. Like, it always does really well. Everyone watches it, loves it, comments on it, but I feel like it's the same thing every time because nothing ever changes. But people still want to see it, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to shoot it again here. I think I already have a video coming out Saturday, so maybe next Wednesday. Caleb says, what do you think of internal power filters? I've only used one once, and that was on a 9-gallon tank, and it worked all right. I don't remember what I had. It was so long ago. I think it was just a shrimp tank, if I remember correctly. And yeah, I liked it. I couldn't even tell you what brand it is. It's been so long I forgot. Lengai says, do you think dirtying a fish tank would be worth it? I think it would be, just to try it, and I think it would be fun. I've done it once, and I'm planning on doing another one soon, hopefully. But for me, I like it just because it's something new, it's something different to try and play around with. Pirate Queen says, have you had power heads and air pumps break as often as hang on back filters? No. I think I've only had one power head, well, 2 power heads fail, maybe. And for the power heads, I just buy like the cheap ones on Amazon. And even those things have worked forever for me. Kayla says, internal filters for display tanks if you don't want bubbles. Okay, I never thought of that. If they can fit in their mouth, you will lose some. Sam Shermer, would rainbow fish prey on small baby bristlenose plecos? I'm worried about plecos being prey. Possibly when they still have their egg sac, but once they shed that and they start getting the spines, you probably wouldn't have to worry about it too much. Sergeant Tank says, Odyssey, our Canadian brand, and our excellent internal power filters. Big J Aquatics says, big news, sir. I don't know if he has big news or if I have big news. Abby says, Kayla, how's it going, Kayla? Does someone know why every time I comment on one of Corey's live stream, my comments get deleted? Maybe on his channel, if they're not fish related, they're probably going to get deleted because he gets so many comments that they really just try to keep them about fish. Sure, I missed something here. Flint says my Java fern roots are half above the rhizome, so I'm confused on how do I plant them. I don't know. I don't plant Java fern, so I couldn't tell you. The roots just go everywhere. I think that's just how they are. Big news. The owner. Oh, here we go. Big news. The owner of Pet Land is meeting me tomorrow, so wish me luck and everything. Oh, that's pretty cool. Are you trying to get it like a sponsor from him or a job? What are you trying to do there? Charles says cichlids are hard to determine. They have their own personalities. Try to get a new... Oh, okay, yeah. So try to get a new angelfish that's roughly the same size as your pre-existing one. Yeah, that's probably pretty important. Roner or Ronner X says, you wouldn't like my setup underground into hang on the back. I think that's actually pretty neat. All right. I think I got a few that I missed there. We'll come back down. Tie Java fern to rock or wood. Yeah, eventually the roots will find their way to the substrate if it's close. But otherwise, I don't even worry about it. I just tie or glue them. Alex says, have you ever been to Squim? Yes, I have. It's been a very long time, but I have been there. Rainbow fish with silver tip tetras, again in the 46-gallon bow front. Yep, that'll work pretty good. What Burning Fire says, what fish go well with rainbows in a 65-gallon? Any community fish. I've never had, in the hundreds and hundreds and possibly thousands of rainbow fish, I've never had an aggressive one. They'll be aggressive towards each other every once in a while, but as far as towards other fish, I've never had a problem with any fish I've ever put with them. Matthew says, Bob, I love the fish hangout. I wanted to share some knowledge. I've kept a colony of 9 dwarf puffers with a farlowella and moth catfish for 1 year now. No issues. They leave all armored fish alone. Well, that's good to know. With a farlowella and I don't know that I've ever heard of a moth catfish. I definitely know what a farlowella is, but yeah, that's pretty cool. I'd imagine they'd have a pretty tough time with an armored catfish. Sean says, any opinions on what active buffering substrate brands to use? My favorite brand is Eco Complete. For plants, as far as if you're talking about buffering like pH, I guess that makes sense. The same company makes like a cichlid gravel mix that's supposed to keep your pH at like 8.5 or something like that. So if you're wanting buffering or minerals for plants, I would go with Eco Complete. Or the same company does make buffering substrates. I think that's Seachem. How bad? I don't even know the brand who makes Eco Complete. How bad is that? Or I can't remember. Oh, Carib Sea. Duh. Carib Sea, the brand that makes everything. So I use the Carib Sea aragonite to buffer some of my tanks. Okay, anyways, after that brain fart, Bob, my uncle gave me this hang on the back filter from 2 years ago that he used back in the 90s. That thing still works like new. Yeah, that's where I got my Greenland Magnum canister filter that's like 100 years old and still works perfect. The aquatic hobbyist says, I have a red wag platy that got bit by a larger platy. Part of its fin was tore off, but it seemed to recover fine. A week later, something looked like it was a blister near the damaged fin. It's probably still just healing. I would definitely keep up on your water changes and keep your water nice and clean. But it's probably still just healing. It could be some type of fungus that you might want to look at, but it's really hard without actually seeing it. Carob C, Eco Complete, and Aragonite. Yep. Carob C. Yeah. I don't know. I tend to have a lot of brain farts on the live stream. I think I'm just reading so many different types of questions that gets my brain all jumbled up. Hera, okay, this is the moth catfish. I'm gonna Google it. Oh, okay. The stone catfish. Oh, see, yeah, see, I know it as the anchor catfish. That's what I know it as. Yeah, those are really cool. Rogue says, here for the dogs. They will be fine as long as you have something for them to hide in during the day. Do you think Raphael catfish would... Oh, okay. How do you think? And I just lost it again. Fish person V blogs. What happened about the contest? Well, you can go to that link right up there and look at the contest, or you can rewind the video and re-listen to it. Burning says, that's a banjo catfish. I don't know if the anchor catfish and the banjo catfish are the same. They might be the same family, but I don't know them well enough to know if they're like the same name or the same fish with two different common names, which is pretty common. The carpeting plant behind me, I'm pretty sure this is pearlweed. Crazy animal lover, how long should I quarantine my big ear guppies before I put them with other fancy guppies? I usually quarantine for 2 weeks. Some people do it for a month. But yeah. Thinking of getting the 125 at PetSmart. What do I think of the stand? If it's the Aquarium 125 gallon, that stand is really solid. If it's the Top Fin 125 gallon, I feel like if I sit on that, it's gonna crush it. So I would not trust Top Fin at all. Gotta go. Been online about 12 hours. Thanks, Russell, and I'll definitely get your calendar shipped out tomorrow when I get off work. Yeah, I should have time to do it tomorrow. I gotta make a few stops, so hopefully. Burning Fire says, how long would you say it takes Java Fern to get a good hold of rock wood? I would probably say at least a month. At least. I don't know, it grows so slow. Rogue says, any good ideas on how to keep corkscrew val and newer crypts in my substrate when I have a pair of electric blue acaras that like to pull them out every time they spawn? You could try to put them in clay pots. I don't know if that's something you'd want to look at as far as seeing clay pots in your tank. You could do that, or they make like plant anchors, and they'll still tear the plants out, but they'll float back down back onto the substrate. So, well, they won't float, they'll sink back down to the substrate. So I think that's probably going to be your best bet. Top fin stands are horrible. Yeah, I have one in my garage right now, and I can like shake it. So the Aquarium, if I like push on it, it doesn't move, but the top fin one, if I can just shake it and it rattles and rolls and moves, and oh man, I wouldn't trust it at all. Jake Horns 33 IA, good evening Bob, good evening to you too. What would you use to trim puffer teeth? Maybe someone on here can answer that, because thankfully I haven't had to do that yet. But I think I've read people of using like dog nail trimmers. So you might look into that. But luckily, like I said, I haven't had to do it yet, and I hope I never have to find out, because it does not sound very pleasant. Thanks, guys. See y'all. Bye. Crazy Animal Lover, thanks for stopping by. Banjo fish are different than anchor. That's what I thought. But I think banjo catfish stay pretty small too, don't they? Short and Anxious says, I will be back in a few. Probably got to plug the phone in. David says, Bob, I'm going to start up an African cichlid tank. What's the best tank size to start with? I want at least 20 fish. As big as you can fit. That's my answer. The biggest tank you can fit. Bigger is always better. Charles says, with live bears, I'd be wary of Camellinus worms. Luckily for my experience, guppies will eat anything in front of them, including Levamisol flakes. So bye-bye Camellinus worms. Yep, I was going to order some of those flakes until it was like $900 to ship them. But I ranted about that to you long enough. Flynn's got to go walk the husky. Would you take mine with you? I got to go walk mine after the live stream. Banjo reaches 6 inches. Oh, good to know. Dremel tool for puffer teeth. Yeah, that doesn't sound like fun at all. I hope I never have to do that. David says, okay, because my coworker is selling a 60-gallon with sump for $200. Is it like a 60-gallon long or a 60-gallon tall? I think if it's a 60-gallon long, you could definitely do 20 Africans in that. Rogue says, Aquarium Co-op, any plans to add guppy grass to your plant listings on your website? Turns out it's not a very popular plant in my local area. Man, I think I'm going to have to put that in all my tanks and just start growing it like crazy, because that's what everyone says. No one can get guppy grass. That just seems really weird to me. Big J Aquatics says, I would talk them down. Yeah, generally for used tanks, I pay $1 a gallon, and that's if I'm in a good mood. Granted, it comes with the sump. If it came with the pump with the sump, that might be a decent deal, but I would still talk them down a bit. Teddy Lopez says, hey guys, just joined in. Thanks for joining us. What do you use to clean the front of the glass? I just use warm water and towels. Big J Aquatics use Windex. Yeah, I've seen people use Windex, but I wouldn't use it. Aquarium Co-op says it doesn't ship well, and I can guess that means it's probably not going to be on the website. LR Breads is the only one I see selling guppy grass online. Well, there you go. Yeah, I sell guppy grass by like the buckets full, but I only sell it locally because it's way easier than shipping. Abby, I don't recommend a husky to a new dog owner. I live in Alaska where huskies thrive. They are smart, high-energy dogs. Yeah, probably not the best dog for a first-timer. But, I mean, if you're willing to put in the time, you just gotta know huskies are escape artists. So, just keep that in mind. Charles says, Bob, do brown and red crypts retain their color without iron and or highlighting? I would say yes, but then again, I'm putting them, like all my crypts are in Eco Complete, which has iron in it. So I'm not sure if that makes sense. Is it the Eco Complete that's making them a different color, or are they just staying that color because they do? I'll have to take a look. I do have some crypts in tanks that just have sand in them, but it's been so long, I wouldn't know. Like, are they green because there's no iron and it's low light, or are they green because I just have green Wendetii? I might have to start paying attention. Is stargrass a type of guppy grass? I can't find it either in Virginia. No. It's technically considered a stem plant, I think is what you want to look for, stem plants. The problem with it is when you ship stargrass, it's basically just a ball of leaves. Like the roots are really small, they're really fragile, and that's kind of the problem with shipping them. Like when I ship them, I'll put them in a Ziploc bag and then fill the bag up with air and then close it and then tape it so none of the air comes out, just to try to keep it from getting squished. But I try to ship them as least amount as possible. I don't like shipping them. Cole sprays ammonia-free glass cleaner on a towel, then wipe the front of the glass. Yeah, I guess if you're spraying Windex on the towel and then wiping it, I would never actually spray the glass with Windex. Bob Roberts says, my friend has a betta and minnows in the same tanks. How do I tell him he's stupid? I don't know that there's a problem with that, to be honest. I know a lot of people keep bettas in community tanks. I mean, if it's working for him. If it's in there killing all his minnows, then that's stupid. But like my betta fish right here in this tank has a guppy in it and cherry shrimp, and doesn't bother him at all. So I think there is kind of a big misconception in the world about betta fish, and you just don't want to keep males together. You can keep them with other fish. Corona Ken says minnows can probably outswim a betta fish. Yep. Looks like Willie the King Colon is back to caps locks for some reason. Going back and forth there. I don't know why. They get to the size of a baseball bat. Mine was 13 inches. Not sure what that's in reference to. Looks like I missed some. David, let's see. Maybe David. I have lights and can make lids for them. Okay, well, anyways, I'm done trying to figure that out. Abby says, here for the dogs. Thanks for offering the training videos. I'll watch them later. Jessica Day, hi there. I have noticed that my platies and my guppy, cories all seem to nibble at my sponge filter. Is that normal behavior? I would say yes. When you're feeding them, everything's probably getting sucked into that sponge, so there's probably like food particles and other stuff in that sponge. Like my shrimp pick at sponge filters all day long just because there's stuff in there to eat. So I wouldn't be too worried about it. That's perfectly normal. My dragon betta fish will kill all my fish, Bob. Yeah, some of them are angry, but that's not really, I mean, that's really, you could get a fish that's just an angry fish. You know what I mean? But there's lots of people that keep betta fish in community tanks. I mean, I pretty much have one right here with no problem. They're like best buddies. Anthony says, are 40 breeders too short for angels since they're a vertically long fish? No, I think you're doing okay. You could easily do a pair in a 40-gallon breeder. Charles Fish Tank says, I've heard good things about the wet spot. Never order from them though. For the most part, they're pretty good. I've had my issues with them on a few things, but I would say as a whole, they're a good company. David says, Bob, what do you think of dinosaur bikers? I think all bikers are pretty awesome. Abby says, okay, I'm sorry I have to go to school tomorrow. Hope everyone has a great day and night. Thanks for stopping by again, Abby. Always fun to see you on here. Bob, it's been a week since I got my plants, but no root growth. Is that normal? Kind of depends on the plants, but I wouldn't be too concerned if it's only been a week. They're probably still adjusting to your water parameters. They might even, depending on what type of plants, they might even die back a little. But even that, I wouldn't be too worried about that either. Joel, got to be careful with throwing around that name in public, if you know what I mean. Okay, what did Joel say? Such a dodgy name, the wet spot. Yeah, if you Google the wet spot, you're not gonna have a very good time. Willie's talking in caps again. He's gonna get himself in trouble. Some of my mods don't like caps. I have a pair of female angels in a 40 breeder with no problems. Yeah, I feel like you're doing just fine with a 40-gallon breeder. Where can we go to browse the products you have to sell? I don't have any products to sell. So there's not really anywhere to go. I do sell my plants when I do trimmings, but it's just locally. Let's see. He doesn't sell right now, but Corey does. Yeah, you can go to this website right here and buy all kinds of stuff if you want to. Neil says, my favorite part about moving to Portland is probably the wet spot tropical fish. That store is awesome. Kayla says, I'm a victim of Googling fish company names. Yep. When I Google the wet spot, I put the wet spot tropical fish or the wet spot Portland, Oregon. Let's see. My plants in that bowl. The shrimp should do fine. Put my plants in that bowl. Not talking to me. Do I have any Central American cichlids? Yes, I have. I have quite a few Apistos. I have Honduran red points. I have Cryptoheris myrnae, which just spawned for me. I got Fry. That might be it. I do have some Guyana, but they're not described, so we don't know where they're from. Yeah, that might be it for right now. Big J Aquatics says, my Pacu is the biggest baby in the world. I would like I tried into the tank. What world? Like I tried into the tank. He went crazy. Oh. Yeah, my little multi-shell dwellers go crazy sometimes when I'm in there. Corey says, thanks, treatment recommendation. Sorry, Corey, looks like I might have missed your situation there. Hopefully someone's chiming in. Charles says, to ride with Robert. Yep, it sends up air through the sponge so it flows to the surface and breaks surface tensions. Michael says, I've ordered 5 times from Aquarium Co-op and they've never had any problems and they all arrive in perfect condition. Yep, I have seen their shipping operation many times. It's really good. Any experience with red Val? Do you know how red it actually is? No. I've been holding off on that plant until I know some people I know have had some experience with it. Otherwise, anytime I've seen red Val, it just looks green to me. It doesn't look any different. So, Corydoras with African cichlids. It can definitely go with a lot of like Tanganyikan cichlids, but as long as you're not getting aggressive African cichlids, you should be all right. The Nerdy Fish says, what fish would I like to see in the hobby more and what fish of less? Well, the fish I'd like to see less is the common pleco. The fish I'd like to see more, well, I'm going to be greedy there and say any fish from Lake Tanganyika. Even rainbow fish too. But I'd have to go with, like, there's so many fish in Lake Tanganyika that just never make it around. I would definitely like to see more come out of there. Are there different varieties of octopus plants? I have a tank full that looks like one sold at Aquarium Co-op, except with narrow leaves. It has slight purple color when it reaches the surface. So it could be changing color when it reaches the surface because it's closer to the light. This plant right here, oops, can't see it. Right here in the back, I have that plant too, and when it reaches the surface, it turns like a bright red and purple when it's right under the LEDs. So I don't know if that's what you have going on there. And then some leaves will just come out narrow just because it's like a bad stem and it's, it has a nutrient deficiency. So there could be a few things going on there. Or, like you said, it could be a completely different plant, but I would say chances are it's probably the same plant, just in different areas of your tanks. Fish Beast says, "Sup bro, cool stream, thank you." Racing 1278 says, "General Cure." I don't know what that's in reference to, but General Cure is always good advice in my book. Did I get another message? Nope. Okay. H2O Plants has Red Val. Yeah, I'll have to check it out, see if he has a video on it. I know in his live stream he was asking Corey if he's ever tried Red Val, but like when I see the name Red Val, it better be red. It better not be like a dark green or something. The Aquatic Hobbyist says, "I have a leftover 2-gallon fish bowl that I haven't used in a while. Would it be okay to keep a shrimp? Would it be okay to keep shrimp in a bowl, or would that poorly impact their health?" I'm sure it's been done. I'm sure it can be done. I don't think I would do it unless I had a way, unless I could put like a small sponge filter in there, some kind of filtration. He's out of Staten Island. I just ordered some Red Val from him. Ian, you'll have to let me know how that goes. I'm kind of curious. Oh, and I think I just skipped a lot of comments, maybe. Oh, here we go. Rudy says, "Average saltwater fish is $40 to $80 too expensive." Michael says, "Red Val, depending on your lighting, will be green except for the top third nearest the top of your tank. That will be very reddish." That could be kind of cool too. Verudu says, "I ordered a bunch of Anubias and Moss Ball from him. He should be shipping my order tomorrow." I don't know. Are we still talking about H2O plants? I would assume. Kent RO Wright versus Seachem Equilibrium. I've never used the Kent product. I have used Seachem Equilibrium with really good success. So I can tell you that with the Seachem, you're going to get something good. In my general experience, the Kent stuff is really good too. So, but like I said, I've never used it, so I can't tell you which one's better. David says, "So I ordered the Beamswork Light, the 6-foot one. That's a monster. I hope that ships well for you, man. I'd be nervous about shipping a light that big." Big J Aquatics says, I'm gonna breed my Jaguar and Flowerhorn when they are older, and then breed them with a blue Texan." Looks like you're playing God over there, Big J. Kayla says, "Hit the like button." Like V-Stack said, that was for Kayla for Sick Tanks. Alrighty. Well, like I said, anytime you recommend General Cure, it doesn't really matter what it's being recommended for. It's a good recommendation. Kinkajou says, "I have to head out. Have to teach in the morning." Oh, that's cool. Take care. Thanks for stopping by. Bailey says, "Bob, knowing you're into rainbow fish, is there any particular species which is your holy grail that you don't already keep?" I'm sure there is some Glossolepis that I want that are out there. I don't know that there's one that's like the holy grail, but there's a ton of them that I think are cool, and most all of them are Glossolepis. So if I could find more Glossolepis, I would definitely order all I could find. Anyone know the name? Anyone know the name of a book by a woman that talks about creating live planted tanks with no filter heater? No, I haven't heard about that. Unless, who is it? Diana Wallstead? Like maybe she has a book about it, but I know she does the dirted tanks. Is that even the right name? I don't even know. It's been so long since I've looked at that book. Yeah, Ecology of the Planet Aquarium, Diana Wallstead. So I was right. I got one right for once. But that sounds like something she might have done. Maybe look for her book on Amazon and you might find it in the related section. Let's see. Here for the Dog says, what size fish is safe with a full-grown dinosaur biker? Anything that can't fit in its mouth, really. That's kind of the general rule of thumb with all bikers. If it can't fit in their mouth, then they're probably good to go. I was going to try mine. It is 10 inches. He's awesome. I'm sure it's something useful I should start keeping again. Tilapia Stew says, Diana Wallstead. Yeah, I don't know if that's like in that same book because I've never read it, but I forgot. Do you have any melanotania trifasciata? I do. On the tanks that you use CO2, what are the lighting and CO2 time schedules? The lighting, I think, is 10 hours, and the CO2 is on for 6 hours. So the lights are on for 2 hours, the CO2 comes off, the CO2 kicks off, and then the lights are on for 2 more hours. That's how I set it up, but now all the timers are a little different, but about that. Rudy says, what are books? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just read everything on the internet. Ian Moon says, yeah, I think it's her. Yeah, it sounds like her. Boy, we're just rolling through these today. My zebra Daniels seem to be chasing each other around a lot. Is this breeding behavior, or are they being goofballs? Probably a little of both. Most Daniels are goofballs. Hey Bob, how do you raise TDS in your shrimp tanks? I generally don't have to raise my TDS, so maybe that somebody who raises their TDS will have a product for you. But mine comes out of the tap like good to go for Neos, so I generally don't have to do anything. The only thing I have to do is raise the pH. I generally don't have to do anything with the TDS. Barton or Bar Transport meant to say my common pleco is 10 inches. He's awesome. Yeah, so when I said that I'd wish to see less of the common pleco, I still really like the common pleco. They're an awesome fish. I'd like to see less of them because I feel they get abused the most. Besides goldfish, I feel like they're by far the most abused fish. Funny you knew the author but not who made Eco. Yeah, that is kind of funny. Benson says, what else could I get with a rainbow shark, black skirt tetra, and a Jack Dempsey? I definitely wouldn't get anything smaller than your black skirt tetra. So if you're looking for fish, I would get something bigger than that. I'm kind of surprised that the black skirt tetra are actually doing well. Crazy Animal Lover says, okay, back for 5 minutes. Would it be okay to put a pair of angels in a 50-gallon with fancy guppies? They're definitely going to eat the guppies. Maybe not the adults, but they would definitely eat fry. Discus D says, hey Bob, would Congo puffers require teeth trimming if not fed enough snails? I think all puffers would require teeth trimming if not fed enough snails or clams or something to keep their teeth trimmed. I'm pretty sure all puffers. Maybe not pea puffers, but... Jessica says, yeah, I have a crew of 8 in there and they go nutso. Yeah, that's just Danios, man. They're crazy fish. What do you... Brian says, do you like to use sand substrate? What do you feel the advantages and disadvantages of using sand? So I use lapis luster sand in most of my non-planet tanks. And even in my planet tanks where I just have low light plants, I think the advantage is that it's soft, it's round, so like cories or sensitive fish that kind of dig through the gravel are not going to get hurt. So yeah, that's why I like it. Just going back, I'm pretty sure I missed some stuff here. David says his common plecos are active all the time. Yeah, they're pretty active fish, surprisingly. But like I said, the local fish store by my house gets so many of them because people buy them, and then they're surprised that they outgrew a 10-gallon tank. Let's see. Charles, yes, books are expensive, but great info. Yeah, some of the old like cichlid books from Ad Konings and stuff, they're just ridiculously expensive. I would love to have them, but I'm not paying like $100 and some for a book that's 30 years old. Scott says, any good tips for keeping yellowtail ACI cichlids? I'd be curious to see what you're putting in the tank with them. Is $200 enough to start a low-tech saltwater aquarium? Probably not if you're including the cost of the aquarium. I know, right? That book is practically the holy grail of the aquarium plant hobby. Are we still talking about Diana Wallstead? Or did I miss another book? Jessica says, I inherited 3 and they harassed all their other tank mates. Now I have built out their gang. They only harass each other. Excuse me. Yeah, and I don't even think they're harassing like each other. They're just spazoids. Yeah, I thought there was a second part to that sand question, so I don't think I answered the whole thing. But that's why I like sand, anyways. I don't remember what the second part question was. Jason says, "Hey Bob, sorry I'm late. What did I miss? You missed all the details about this contest going on right up here. So if you go to that link, there's a contest for a $100 gift card and 2 $50 gift cards to Aquarium Co-op. So definitely check that out if you're in the continental. Well, if you're in the United States, I shouldn't say continental because it's all of U.S. $200 is good for 50-gallon saltwater low tech, as long as you don't overstock it. 3-4 fish. Good. I'm glad someone with some saltwater experience chimed in. Scott says, I have 3 yellow labs with them. All 6 of them are small, about 2.5 inches and 25 gallon for now. I would just make sure, Scott, you have lots of hiding places for them. But if they're all the same size, as long as they have, hiding spaces, line of sight breaks, you should be okay. Brett's has a massive fish library. I think everyone would like to own his. Yeah. I would like to own 150 tanks if someone else was doing the water changes. Jessica says, bummed I'm in Australia. Well, I wouldn't be too bummed. Australia's pretty sweet. Charles Fish Tank says, yesterday I bought the Encyclopedia of Aquarium and Pond Fish for only $7 off Amazon, mostly out of nostalgia. That book helped resurrect my interest in the hobby. I would love to own books. The problem I have with books is they're such a pain to move around. And not that I move around. I've been in the same place for 12 years, but I've rearranged a lot, and it's always a pain to move books. Scott says, thanks, man. Appreciate the help. Yeah, I think you're going to have a pretty cool tank. Should be a lot of fun to watch. But yeah, just make sure you have lots of hiding places and line of sight breaks. Brett's fish library cards are needed. I don't know if he's ever shown it on his channel, but the in his garage, on the garage door is just lined with whiteboards. And then in another one of his room, he has more whiteboards, and they're just all filled with just notes, and it's ridiculous how much he keeps track of. Rudy says, Bob, you should build an auto water change system when you do the new fish room. That would be nice, but I don't think it's going to happen because I rent. So I can't really do any permanent changes. I know I've talked about it with Corey a few times, and he keeps trying to talk me into it, but just the idea of it seems really involved when I'm renting. Benson's, what type of cichlids are we talking about here? He says, would angelfish go with cichlids? Yeah, that's a pretty broad question there, Benson. We need to know what kind of cichlids. Because they're not going to go with like the Haitiensis or something like that. Let's see. And snakes. Whiteboards are a great idea. Yep, really good idea. How many of you guys record your water test results? I sure don't. I used to when I had just a couple tanks. Yeah, he showed that a few weeks ago about his whiteboards. Hopefully he showed all of them because, man, there were so many of them. There are some good tips in the old books. The old-time folks had to make things work without high-tech toys. Of course, black and white photos with outdated names are kind of a downer. Yeah, I don't think I could get past the black and white photos. Mainly the only time I'm looking through books is when I'm trying to identify a species, and a black and white photo is not going to help me. Especially now that I have some cyprichromis that I don't know what they are. Black and white photo is definitely not going to identify a cyprichromis. Jack Dempsey. So angelfish with Jack Dempsey. What do you think about that, Charles? I personally do whenever I do a water change. Jessica Day, I'm the kill it with fire. Although I have a whiteboard with $1 billion bacon idea. Not all of them are fish. I read your $1 billion bacon idea, and I've kept that stored away right in here. I'm not going to steal it. I'm waiting for you to implement it. But I thought it was pretty interesting. I think I was reading that when I fell asleep on the floor right in front of it at 3:30 in the morning. I was laying there and I just saw the word bacon out of the corner of my eye, and I was like, oh, bacon? What are we talking about here? Okay, Short Ink just says, Jessica, yes, the Cory cats will eat the Danio eggs, so will the Danio parents, but actually the Danio eggs are a good protein snack for your Corys, so don't worry about it. Yep. Okay, so Charles is chiming in on angelfish with Jack Dempsey's. He says, I'd be extremely cautious and advise against it. Jack Dempsey's are generally aggressive and they have a size advantage against angelfish. With Jack Dempsey's, your target fish are smaller sized fish. Yeah, I gotta say, probably not a good idea. Chance says, finally got Praecox rainbows, and can't lie, they are my favorite fish I've ever kept thus far. Yeah, they're really cool. I got a school of them in with my Mabu puffer. Do normal baby tears need CO2? I've grown them without CO2, and then I got some for a small business Saturday. I got some at Aquarium Co-op, and I tried them in a low light setting and failed miserably. So while I've grown them without CO2, I would say they definitely like higher light. Since the Aquatics says, I just wanted to let you know you are one of the reasons why I wanted to start my YouTube channel. I greatly enjoy your content. I hope to get to your level one day. Well, that's awesome. I miss when I could just, on the old chat, you see right here, I used to be able to just click on the name and hit subscribe from there. And YouTube changed their chat for the worse, and now I can't. Because now I'd like to follow this channel, and I'm going to have to do it later. Racing says, bacon. Canadian bacon is good too. Yep. Bob, what's your favorite pleco? Actually, you know what? It's been a few weeks. I wonder if anyone remembers what my favorite pleco is. We'll have to see. Ron says, I only test TDS since watching LR Brett's videos. Yeah, a lot of good information on his videos. A lot of time it's information overload for me, but I still get through them. Without seeing it, I'm not sure, but yes, generally that's okay. I missed that. Lucas says, see what happens when you mention bacon. Yeah. Tracking my test results with Microsoft Excel. Nothing doing any... wait a minute, stop scrolling. Noting when doing any maintenance, adding plants, stock, easy to keep up. And yeah, I used to keep track of that with Google Sheets. Google Docs, Google Sheets, something like that. I kept track of all my plants, all my fish, until I hit about tank 15, and then it got to be too much of a time-consuming experiment. So I stopped doing it. I still have it saved though. It's from like a year and a half ago, and it's still fun to go back and look what I was keeping back then. I do tend to go through fish a lot. Oh, I guess people are trying to guess my favorite pleco. Phantom pleco, no. Leopard frog, no. 237, no. No. L394, we're getting closer, but no. The 333, nope. Although I do have some. Man, L394 was close. Okay, let me come back up here. Benson says, should I upgrade my tank size with Jack Dempsey, Rainbow Shark, and Black Skirt Tetra? If you're able to, bigger is always better. That's not very good advice. I feel like it's not very good advice, but it's a good practice. Charles says, some L number orange and black stripe, hype and citrus. Yep. So between that and L394, getting pretty close. The rare whiptail one you brought not long ago, Bob. Nope. Sergeant, what's good? You got any sharks in there? No sharks. Hey Lucas, do the blue Galaris require peat moss? Hopefully he can chime in there. Lucas. Blue Galaris require peat moss. Lucas, the ultimate. Gibbs, both got it. L397. Rogue Dimension, the Sultan Pleco L264 is definitely a top 5 for me. Love that fish. Mr. H. Mong Culture. Sorry, I'm sure that's not how you say that, but that's how I'm saying it. What made you get into YouTube and fish keeping? Who is your hero and who do you look up to in the past? So what got me into YouTube? I feel like it's pretty common with most fish keepers. They're just putting videos out there so they can document their own fish tanks. And then over time, people start watching them, and then people start interacting, and then you start shooting better videos, and then you start doing videos with other people, and then it just starts spiraling out of control. And what got me into fish keeping? I had fish when I was in high school, and then I rescued some minnows that when I was up hiking, they were in a dried up puddle, just flapping around in the mud. So I rescued those, brought them back home, put them in a tank, in a 10-gallon tank I had left over from when I used to keep reptiles. And I don't know, I just got the bug. I would just sit there. I found myself just sitting there watching them for long periods of time. I just thought it was really peaceful. So that's how I got back into it. Of course, I just scrolled past everything. Panacula species wood eater. That's why I remember. Yep. Oh, here it is. Who is your hero, or who do you look up to? I don't know that I have like a hero, but I certainly like Gary Lang and all the work he's done for rainbow fish. Who did I look up to in the past? In the past, I had no idea what I was doing and didn't know anything about fish, so I didn't really look up to anyone in the past. So yeah, I don't really have a good answer for you there, but as far as, I think hero, probably the closest thing would be Gary Lang, just because of what he does for rainbow fish. He's stopping like inbreeding with the fish farms in Florida. He's really got that under control. He goes out and collects and finds new rainbow fish. Fish heroes. That's a good question. Yeah. That would probably require a lot of thinking on my part. Takashim, however you pronounce his first name, Amano. Yeah, that dude is pretty sweet too, and that's kind of not a very good way to say it, but he was certainly an awesome guy. Good place to buy live bears online. Probably Aquabid. Just make sure the person you're buying from has a lot of good reviews. Me or other Jason? If you could turn any fish into a small fish, which species would you choose? If I could turn any large fish into a small fish, it would be a shark, because I think sharks are awesome, but you can't really have sharks. At least I'm not rich enough to have sharks. If you could turn any small fish into a large fish, which species would you choose? I would probably choose Cyprichromis or rainbow fish. Having a like a 12-inch or larger rainbow fish would be amazing. Bailey says, how are the Snapper Creek you recently got doing? I have a group of them myself, and they're quite stunning as adults. Still just growing out. They're doing really well. Doing really, really well. Eric Armstrong says, leopard frog plecos. Since you rent, has your landlord ever hinted that you have too many tanks? Nope, not at all. He likes them a lot, and he supports my addiction. A mini great white. Yeah, I almost said like a bottlenose dolphin, but then I remember that those aren't fish. So I didn't want to have someone get all technical with me. But having a mini dolphin would be awesome. What's the rarest fish you have? Probably my zebra plecos. If I had a magic wizard powers, I would make desert gobies live longer. I feel that way about a lot of the killifish. Like, I feel for how expensive killifish are, they should live longer than a year or two. Alright, it's 8:30. I'm going to probably cut it off here in about 9 minutes because I still have to walk the dog, feed some fish. A 10-inch apisto. What apisto would I want to see at 10 inches? Like a really nice cockatoides would be nice. An orange flash. That would be pretty awesome. How long? Chance says, how long do apisto fry take to get to a sellable size? I've only raised a couple batches of apisto fry, and I feel like they take forever, and that's probably why I don't do it still. Granted, I wasn't like power feeding and doing massive water changes. I was just kind of letting it go with the flow and feeding him twice a day. So I don't know, maybe we need to find somebody that breeds a lot of apistos and ask them. I know there's some people to the north of me, about 10 minutes, that have bred thousands of apistos, and theirs grow really fast, but they also feed like the best food and have like the perfect water. I don't know, maybe 3-4 months, maybe. But the longer you wait, the more money you get for them. That's the thing. Like the bigger they are, the more color, the more you're going to get for them. Piscograma Hongsloi would be pretty sweet. I mean, honestly, a lot of the apistos, maybe not like the Mendezii or something, but most of them are probably going to look good at 10 inches. Chance says, yeah, I feel like it's taken forever. Yeah, it really does. What is an L397? That is a pleco. You just want to Google L397 pleco. Bob, will you check out my channel and give me some feedback? I'm pretty sure I'm subscribed to your channel, so yeah, I can look at it. I generally don't get time to look at people's videos until like Sunday mornings, and I try to get through as many of them as I can. My problem is, so I used to nerd out on YouTube like before I go to bed, and then the next thing I know, it's like 2 in the morning and I gotta get up in 4 hours. So I really try to cut myself off at doing YouTube at night, and then like during the day I just don't have time at all. So it really only leaves like Sunday mornings, and now Big Fly Multimedia is live streaming on Sunday mornings, so that's eating into more of my YouTube nerd session. So, well, actually a lot of people are live streaming now, so it's really cutting down on my nerd outs. Benson says, what kind of lights would you recommend for a reef tank? You don't want my recommendations. I've only had one saltwater tank in my life, and it was a 14-gallon tank, so I'm sorry, I'm certainly not a good choice for saltwater information. Not only did I have one tank, but I could barely keep pulsing xenia alive, which everyone hates because they say it grows like weeds. Certainly not mine. Man, I'm missing a lot of people's comments tonight. Sorry about that, guys. At least I like that everyone in the chat is helping everyone out. Missing all the stuff that I'm missing. Or helping with all the stuff that I'm missing. Charles says, highly unlikely, although bettas and gouramis are both Man, I need to get over this cold. Makes it hard to pronounce these scientific names. Anyways, there's your answer. Jessica Day, the rule I use when buying most live bears like platies or guppies from a store, if the tank's not gender marked or I can tell both are in the tank, I assume that I will have fry. Yep. Burning Virus says, Bob, you should contact that Rainbow Runner Barricade guy and ask if you could use some of his content in the background of the streams. I don't know. Let me look. Oops. Rainbow Runner. I'll have to check those out. While that's probably pretty cool, I think I'd rather have actual people that are in the chat. I'd rather have their tanks in the background. Nisi Rock says, is it okay if I recommend a goldfish forum? YouTube won't let you link websites in the chat, but if you just want to say the name of it, that's fine. Slightly dribbling, nothing too bad. Tell me about it. I'm still here. I've been up at 5:30. LR Brett's Aquatics, thanks. I'll check out after the live stream. Just got over being sick. LR, what's good, sir? I have a okay, wait a minute here. I have a Prime and a 360 Kessel. Work great on my reef tank. Yeah, the Kessel lights are supposed to be really good, but they're way too expensive for me. Bob, I made you some videos, says LR Brett's Aquatics. Okay, I'll have to go check those out. Is Brett's going to stream? As far as I know, he's streaming on Saturdays, maybe Sundays, sometimes Fridays, and then kind of whenever he wants. Bob, do you go fishing? I do not. I did a lot of fishing as a kid, but generally now I don't have the time. 7 Miles says, Bob, you could do some cool cold water marine stuff out of the Puget Sound. Use the waste heat from the chiller to heat the tropical tanks. It's illegal to collect fish out of the Puget Sound, though. That would be my only problem. And if I wasn't on YouTube, it probably wouldn't be a big deal. But if I put it on YouTube and then someone turns me in because somebody hates me, then that could cause a problem. How can I get as big as you are? I have been a YouTuber since last year and haven't grown as fast as other people. I would recommend, there is a lot, I don't know why my nose itches, but there's a lot of good channels on YouTube that are specifically about growing your channel, like video creators, video influencers, sounds like the flu, influenza, video influencers. Anyways, those are the two channels that I kind of pay attention to, and they do a lot of videos specifically on growing in YouTube, and they have lots of tips and advice. I would check them out. Permits available for collecting. Well, I am going to start scuba diving in the Puget Sound, so maybe. Cichlid City sounds like a fun place to visit. Here for the Dogs has some interesting views on. Oh, Steve Ranella has some interesting views on fishing. Pretty much Lake Malawi. We would never turn you in, Bob, as long as you have kept up with the payments. Yeah. If you go back on like some of my older videos, I have the Mexican dwarf crayfish, which is illegal in Washington State. I don't have them now, but I used to. Once I found out they were illegal, I got rid of them. I swear. Bretts, can you live stream the packing of orders, but maybe next week when you are more prepared? Just a thought. Short and anxious, Lucas, she wants to watch you pack boxes. Big J Aquatics, it takes time to grow. I'm at 481. I've been doing it for 4 months. So one thing I notice is that if I go to like some of the bigger channels, where some of those bigger channels like a Joey, Rachel, Aquarium Co-op. Not so much Aquarium Co-op, but some of those bigger channels, they don't have time to just sit there and answer everyone's questions. So if you can go on there and just go through the comments and answer their questions and just, you know, give decent advice and just be friendly, people will check out your channel if you answer their questions. So if you do that, you'll also gain. Like every time I go on and start answering people's questions on like Joey's video, I always pick up a few subscribers from doing that. I used to do it on Aquarium Co-op's videos, but since he answers like every comment anyways, it doesn't really help me. Oh, cool. Kind of want to try. Let's just nature take his course. Survive, some don't, some don't. David says, cyclicity, slowly but surely. I'm not growing fast either. It definitely has its ups and downs. I mean, I've had days where I've got like 50 subscribers, and then the next day I'll get like 6. I don't know. I haven't really figured it out yet. You said that when and if you reach 250 subs on YouTube, you would consider going full-time on YouTube. What are your plans on making money from your sub list, selling fish, plants, ebooks? If I had 250,000 subs, probably, well, 1, AdSense, right? The ads on the videos. And 2 would be like affiliate programs. I'd want it to all be passive. I might sell, like, if I'm at 250,000, I feel like I'd probably have a brand and maybe sell like t-shirts or something like that. But I would want most of it to be passive. So definitely like AdSense, affiliate, like Amazon affiliate program, things like that. President 89 says, do you make any money from YouTube ads? Yes. Everyone makes money from YouTube ads. If you are a YouTube partner, I think you get like 50% of the ad revenue, 40, maybe 60% of the ad revenue, something like that. So that's why a lot of people have ads on their video, because you get paid from it. Oh man, getting kind of stuffed up here. I'm gonna have to go in a few minutes. Pectech was my 100th subscriber. He makes really good money at it though. Who is he? Cichlid City says, as a YouTube partner, you get 55%. There it is. I knew it was right around that 50. Charles says, I like having a small channel, especially for live streams. I was happy to read every comment on the stream we had today. Yeah, the live stream I did at like, what was it, like 11 o'clock or something on Saturday, when there was only, I mean, there was like 80 people there, but the chat was really slow and it was just really kind of relaxed, and we weren't even really even talking about fish. That's why it's not uploaded. I didn't even release the video because it wasn't even really about fish. We were just all kind of hanging out, having fun. So yeah, that was kind of neat. That Petland deal is all good. Looking down at me and just hard work. I have my channel on my truck. YouTube partner average like $1 per 1,000 views on a video. That's what a lot of people say, but I can tell you in my experience, that's not even close to being accurate. That stream was hilarious. Oh, were you there on that Saturday night one with the what did I even have on there? The jellyfish. I had the background as my jellyfish. I was thinking maybe like in 5 years I'll release that video. How cool would that be? Like, look at how I was 5 years ago, just hanging out of the long lost stream. So in 5 years I'll release that video. How about that? Do you still get paid even if I have ad blocker on? Nope. If people have ad blocker on, you don't get paid at all. Yeah, I was thinking. Yeah, I think I kept escalating your name. Oh yeah, that's right. That was funny. Is it unlisted? I have it listed as private. So if it was unlisted, you could actually go to my channel and watch it. I found that out the hard way because like the next day I woke up and people were commenting on it, and I was like, this video is not even published. How are people commenting on it? And it was just unlisted. So some lucky few people did get to see it, but I changed it to private, so now no one can find it. I watched the Saturday video on Sunday afternoon where you were testing the new mic. Yeah, that whole video got screwed up. Like, if you look at it now, the whole like 20 minutes first 20 minutes is just gone. I actually had to download it and then re-upload it, so it took like, it wasn't even up there. It was almost like 2 days, I think, until it was actually live. And it shows it only has like 300 views, and it really killed all my stats, but it would have been better for me to not even release it. But it had like the calendar giveaway on there, and it was still pretty fun, and I'm sure people want to see it anyway, so I put it on there. Let's see. Darn, I'll disable it for YouTube. 2 of my videos almost have 100 views. I'm happy people are at least watching my videos. Yep, it's you know, you just gotta stick with it. He would have guessed Bob has ginger curls. Cichlid City, I love how Steenfott Aquatics has 117 people watching right now, and I only have 160 subs total. Hey, I was there at one point. 11:45 here, gotta go. Yep, I guess I'm going at 9 o'clock now. That's the problem with the live stream, man. That's a lot of fun. You don't want to leave. I'm looking at it. VStag will cost me about $4,000. I certainly missed what you guys are talking about it. Oh, going to the Chicago Aquatic Experience. Yep. I think there's gonna be a lot of us. I think we're starting a movement. One of my vids has 2,000 views. That's good. $907. Once again, Big Steen, awesome live stream. I always liked. One of my goals was to always have as many views as I had subscribers, but I don't even get close to anymore. I always thought it was cool when I had 1,000 subscribers and my videos would get 1,000 views. I'm like, yes, all my subscribers are watching my videos. And I know that's not the case, but that's just how I would like picture that in my mind. Charles says, I'd love to go to Chicago. Only problem is I have to plan around my school schedule. Well, it's on the weekend. You should be good, man. You don't go to school on the weekend. Cichlid City, we should meet up sometime. VSAG, I wish I could go. We'll be in Tennessee during the aquatic experience. I have 152 subs and only 30 views. And out of those 30 views, I think like 15 of them are me. So, sorry to burst your bubble. What are the dates for the aquatic experience? I don't know, Tyler. I haven't even looked at it yet. I just assume it's the first weekend in November, but I could be wrong. It's November 1st through the 3rd or 4th. Yeah. I think it's always the first weekend in Chicago. Racing says we should all be supporting one another, which is what makes these feel so good. Yeah, that actually, it makes me feel bad now. So, like, way back when, I could keep up with everyone's channels, and now I have too many people. What am I? I'm at like 4,500 subscribers, and a lot of you guys have fish channels, and I just don't have the time to look at everyone's channels. I certainly try, but I wish I had more time because I just can't keep up with everyone. So like I'll go months without commenting on someone's videos, and then comment like 10 times on all their videos. Charles Fish Tank says we need to organize a hotel. Isn't the experience in a hotel? Yep, and you better book early. Let's look at it right now. Do I still have this up here? Yes, I do. Here we go. Here's your co-op website, but we want to go to the Chicago co-op. Look at this. I'm having stage fright. Everyone's watching me type. I can't do it. Okay, here we go. November 3rd through the 5th, Chicago, Illinois. Buy tickets, schedule. Normally has a link for the hotel. The Sea Lion Splash, that is an absolute must. So save $20 just for that, because that's how much it is. Maybe here? Let me put this over here. Okay. Looking for hotel. Looking for hotel. Oh, I'm sure directions would probably tell us, right? At the Schaumburg Convention Center. Oh, there we go. Marriott Renaissance Hotel. There you go. That's the hotel you want. Right there. So, if you're making your hotel reservations, the Marriott. Okay, Sashimi Whiskey. Recommend Airbnb to little as $30 a night. They're very clean and friendly. I think after last year, I kind of want to stay at the hotel that the conference is in. Just makes it way easier. Charles says, no, I really want to go. It'd be sweet to meet you all. Yeah, everyone's got to go. Especially people that are already over on that side of the river. Booking it now. Is there a campground near CAE? If there was, you better come you better come with firearms, because Chicago is the ghetto. You'll probably get robbed in a campground. Charles Fish Tank says, I think I'm going to pull the trigger. See you in November. Awesome. I want to go earlier. I want to get a couple days of sightseeing in. Like, I want to go to the aquarium. Burning Fire says, I'm not going, but I want to. Yeah, it's probably pretty tough from Australia. Trump is going to build a wall on the river. Not that river. Reef and Live Bear Aquatics says, dang, I wish I could go. I'd go to meet some of you. May have to see about going. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people there. Obviously, like, Rachel's going to be there. Lup Diesel is probably going to be there. Obviously, Dustin Joey. I'm sure Corey's going again. Shed Aquarium. Yeah, that's where we need to go. Convention Center is a very nice part. You do not need to worry about robberies. Yeah, so I've never been to Chicago until we went last year. And, man, I was like, all you read about is how, like, 60 people get murdered every weekend in Chicago or something crazy like that. And I was like, yeah, we're going to get killed. They're going to steal all of our fish stuff. I want to get a huge picture of everyone with my drone. That'd be pretty sweet. Trust me, David. You will like the lights. Dinners, very nice part. Yeah. To be fair, after being there, it was pretty nice. Like, there wasn't. Yeah, it was actually pretty nice. It was a pretty nice part of town. South Chicago is bad. Flights aren't that expensive from Philadelphia either. Yeah, I think my flight was even only like $400. Nobody will steal your fish. We'll come armed. Kayla says, my city is the number 4 in crime rates. Wow. So, I don't know if Corey's still listening, but looks like we're definitely going to have a pretty good size gathering. Oh yeah, obviously Lucas is going to be there, LR Brett's Aquatics, because what's that, like a 3-hour drive? You'll definitely be there. Plus you got to defend your shrimp awards. Ryan, don't worry about it. I showed my face online today for the first time on YouTube. No problems. What was Ryan saying here? Where is it? I want to show my face and talk in my video, but I'm scared that people will make fun of me. What should I do? Hey, people make fun of me. Look, if this ugly mug can come on YouTube, surely you can too. Corey's always listening. Snipers in the trees. I don't know. Corey's got a lot of trips planned already, but hopefully he still make it to Chicago. I don't know. Are you planning to go to Chicago this year? Yeah, Ryan, really don't worry about it. I mean, there's not a whole lot you can really do about it. And in general, people are pretty cool, especially in this community. Corey was the second shooter. Cool. I'll be keeping my eye out for an update on the way. David, my name is Carlos. DPK. I have a hard time saying that because I'm used to DKP. I'm used to talking about it. Haven't planned it yet, but I'll be in Michigan November 11th. Well, there you go. Go to Chicago and then just a short hop up to Michigan. Ryan says, thanks, Bob and Charles. Yeah, just don't even worry about it. Like, and then you'll get more and more comfortable, and then you just won't even care. Okay, we got 4 more minutes. I gotta cut it off at 9 because I still, like I said, have to walk the dog, have to feed some fish, clean up, try to clean up a little bit of the absolute mess I made that you guys will see on Wednesday. Oh man. 907 says, same here, building my confidence, then gonna post fish videos. Yeah, just do it. Just do it. That's like, so when you're watching like how to grow on YouTube, how to get better on YouTube, the main thing is always just do it more, make more videos, be consistent, and then just keep doing more videos, because like anything else, the more you do it, the better you're gonna get at it. Split the gas with me and you could ride with me. Also getting multiple tanks, that way I have content. Yeah. So Brendan says, is ecology of the planet aquarium worth it for beginner in the hobby? Ecology of the planet aquarium, yes. I would say yes. You can learn a lot from it. I haven't even read it, but I've that sounds bad. Yeah, you should read it. You should learn a lot. And by the way, I have never read it. While I have never read it, I've read a ton about it. And the only reason I haven't read it is because I don't really buy books. Some people can get together to share hotel costs. Nisi says, 907, I'd sub you. Gotta support Alaskan fish keepers. There you go. Short started doing FaceTime. Short started doing Face. Time to go for it. Yep, you really just gotta dive in head first. And the Wallstead method is cray. The gift card shipping right. Sorry if I hear the answer. The gift card shipping right. Sorry, I don't know that. I can't make a question out of that. Reef, sorry if I hear the answer. The gift card, is the gift card being shipped or does it cover shipping? I don't know, Reef. Clarify that question a little bit for me. David says, a stock list of your show tank. Would love to see that. I love reading, but then I had children. Please never say cray cray again. Yeah, that was a one-time deal, I promise. Well, 2 times now. I can guarantee you I'm never going to do that again. Jack says, I have a question. I have a weird white film growing on everything in my tank. I read it's some bacteria that is feeding on the nutrients in the wood. If it's everywhere in the aquarium, that's one thing. If it's on all your wood, then yeah, it's if you got like a bristlenose pleco or something, it would actually eat all that. Is a membership to ACA worth it? I don't have one because there's nothing even ACA related in my state, so it's not worth it for me. Sickly says, I don't really have a show tank. I thought it was funny. Oops, sorry about that, Bob. Do the gift cards also cover shipping? I'm sure if you got $100 gift card, and if you bought like $75 worth of stuff and it was $25 to ship, I would imagine that it would. Gift card, spend the same as cash at Aquarium Co-op, shipping included. There you go. Sixlet City, do you have a favorite? Reef and Library Aquatics, thank you. Charles Fish Tanks is going live next. Oh, Charles Fish Tanks, sweet, I'll hop on. Are you actually going gonna go live? Are you going live? Is that what we're talking about? Charles Fish Tank, that would work if he's going to get back to Philly by Sunday night. If you're going to the Aquatics experience, this is something that Corey mentioned to me, and it actually, I saw it happen. If you're local, bring a truck, because a lot of that stuff they give away or they sell for dirt cheap. So, Charles says, no, I think sashimi is. Sashimi, are you going live? I hope no one's going live, because I want to go to bed, but if someone's going live, that means I'm just going to stay up and watch it. He said, I just shouted it out, Bob. I thought he would. Oh, so he was calling you out, Charles, saying you were going to go live. To go live, do you need to verify some stuff? Wait. To go live, you need to do some stuff to verify your account or something. I didn't have to do anything. Man, excuse me. Okay, we're gonna get rid of you. You have to walk the dog. Yeah, that's true. And speaking of that, it is 9 o'clock. I can't neglect my dog anymore. She deserves a walk. So I am calling it a night. This was a really fun 2 hours. Don't forget about the contest going on right up here. You can do that every day to get points. Well, there's the one section that showed the daily extra points. Don't forget to send me your videos to Steenfott Aquatics at Gmail if you want to be in the background. Just remember 720p and keep the camera still. No moving around. Hopefully try to get it around 5 minutes, but if the file size gets too big, 2 minutes should work, just nothing shorter than 2 minutes. And thanks everyone for stopping by. It was a ton of fun. I really had a lot of fun on this live stream. I hope you guys did too. And as of right now, I'm not planning another one until Saturday. But again, Thursday is always a maybe, as long as I get my water changes done. So thanks everyone, and I'll see you guys next time.